Hello everyone, welcome to 𝗕𝗦𝗧 Academy. So let us continue our daily quiz. Today we are discussing the 14th section, the episode where we have questions from 131 to 140. So question number 131. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the standing deposit facility? This is with regard to the Reserve Bank of India policy, one of the monetary policy tools. Okay. So now, which statements are correct? It is an additional tool for injecting liquidity without any collateral. So if you look at this SDF, it was recently introduced by the RBI, but the question is whether it is for injecting or absorbing liquidity. Okay, without collateral is to understood. That is the difference between the earlier tool and the SDF. Now SDF was introduced in April 2022. The SDF was to replace the earlier fixed rate reverse repo as what we can say the floor rate of the liquidity adjustment facility corridor. So now the question is which of these statements are correct with regard to the standing deposit facility. So the options are 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, all the statements. So if you look at the question number 131, the correct answer would be C. That means what? Statement only 2 and 3. So statement 2 correct, statement 3 correct, but statement 1 is wrong. What is wrong? As I told initially, it is not for injecting liquidity, it is actually for absorbing liquidity. So in SDF what happens normally? Banks deposit their surplus cash with the RBI and RBI gives them a rate of interest, only they don't use any collateral. So this is basically money going from the bank to RBI, which technically in economics we call it as absorbing liquidity. So the correct answer therefore would be statement 2 and 3 are correct. That is answer C. Question number 132. Consider the following statements. The 𝗕ልજી dynasty, okay, that's the statement 1. 𝗕ልજી dynasty established by Jalaluddin Firuz 𝗕ልજી marked a shift from the Mamluk rule of the slave dynasty. So the 𝗕lஜis were Turkish origin like the predecessor in the slave dynasty, right? Now the question is which of the following statement is correct, in respect of the above statements. So option A, both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is not correct. Statement 1 is not correct but statement 2 is correct. This kind of analytical question you will find in most of the competitive exams, so this we need to be prepared like this kind of question. So the correct answer is C. So what is the correct answer? C. If you see here, statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is not correct. So if you see here, the dynastic shift, the rise of 𝗕lજી dynasty marked the transition from the earlier slave dynasty. Now the 𝗕lජis were a new ruling class with a different ethnic background. Unlike the Mamluks of the slave dynasty were Turkish origin, 𝗕lජis were Turco-Afghan descent. There is some slight difference, okay, in the statement 2. Therefore statement 2 is incorrect. Clear? So the correct answer will be C. Question number 133. Consider the following statements about the occurrence of cloud bursts in India. They are more frequent in mountainous regions. They are common in coastal plains and they are often linked with orographic lifting. Now which of the statements are correct? So we have option only 1, 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. So which of these statements are correct? So if you look at the explanation, correct answer is B. Correct answer is B. Cloud bursts occur more frequently in the mountainous like the Himalayas due to orographic lifting in moist air. Right. but they are less in coastal plain. That means what happened? Only statement 1 and 3 are correct. Coastal plain statement is not correct. So if you see here, most of these cloud bursts occur in the mountainous region. Therefore, normally you find that happening in the Uttarakhand area very often. Yeah, Shimla, this kind of area, normally you will find that. Question number 134. Which of the following statements are correct regarding edible oil, in the Indian context? So if you look at here, India heavily dependent on the imports to meet its edible oil requirements. India is the largest importer of vegetable oils in the world. Of all the imported edible oils, the share of palm oil is about 60%, followed by soybean and sunflower. With effect from 2018-19, the National Mission on Oil Seeds and Oil Palm Scheme has been merged with the National Food Security Mission. Right? So, which of these statements are correct? So, our options are 1, 2 and 4, 2, 3 and 4, right? 2 and 4, yeah, all of the above. So, the correct answer for this question would be all of the above. Answer is D. Why? All these statements are correct with regard to the edible oil problem in India, because India is the largest importer of edible oil, vegetable oil, and government has launched this oil palm mission. Assam is also preparing now this oil palm mission target, etc. is going on. So this kind of question which are very significant for the national security also, food security and all. So this is therefore necessary for preparation for exam. Question number 135. Consider the following statements about the northeast monsoon. Okay, so it is a northeast monsoon. It mainly occurs during the winter months. It brings heavy rainfall to most parts of India. It blows from land to sea. So which is correct? So option you have only 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3. So the correct answer here would be answer number C. That means the correct answer is 1 and 3. It mainly occurs in winter period. It blows from land to sea. Okay, so that is what we can say, the northeast monsoon. Okay, so the northeast monsoon occurs in winters and blows from land to sea. It generally brings less rainfall to most India except some regions like Tamil Nadu. Clear? Okay. 136. Consider the following events related to the decline of the Hoysala dynasty. So what are the statements are correct? The rise of the Vijayanagara Empire, the defeat of the Veerabala III by the Madurai Sultanate, the invasion of the Delhi Sultanate. So which of the statements are correct? So the correct is all the three. Answer is C. All three statements are correct. So statement 1 is also correct. Statement 2 is also correct. Statement 3 is also correct. That means for this particular answer, all the three statements are correct. So you need to be just familiar with the historical questions and events for the exam preparation. 137. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the bank clinic concept? We have a concept called bank clinic. Now we know the normal clinic. What about the bank clinic? Now the bank clinic is an initiative by the All India Bank Employees Association. It aims to assist bank customers with grievance redressal. It is a non-resolving advisory platform. The key point is this one, advisory platform, right? Guiding the customer on various solution remedies available as per the RBI guidelines. मतलब क्या है? Bank clinic is not going to solve your problem directly, but they will give you advice as to what you can do to deal with the problem that you are facing. समझ में आ गया? So that is the basic concept about this idea of a bank clinic. So now which statements are correct? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, yeah, 1 and 3, all of the above. So the correct answer is D. All the statements are correct. Okay. So all the three statements are correct, and I have given here extra reading for you. as the PDF is available for download. You can download also and read all these statements, right? So the bank clinic is basically All India Bank Employee Association ka initiative, founded in 1946, April in Kolkata. It is headquartered in Chennai. Okay, so this plays a very important role in helping the people to deal with various problems and issues. Question 138. So here again we have a kind of a logical thinking. So we have a assertion and reason. Assertion: high density polythene is rarely recycled due to heavy presence of highly toxic chemical additives. Right? Polyvinyl chloride is notoriously difficult to recycle safely because of its toxic chemicals it can release. Now which statements are correct here? So very tricky. Both statement A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. A and R are true. R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true. R is false. A is false. R is true. These are kind of a tricky type of questions which we need to practice for exam. So if you look at here, assertion A is false. The high density polythene marked with resin identification is actually highly favored in packaging industry because it is incredibly stable, safe and easily recycled. Therefore statement 1, assertion, is wrong. Whereas reason, R is true. Right? Polyvinyl chloride marked with resin identification is a nightmare for recycling facilities. Its base chemical structure contains a massive amount of chlorine. So it is heavily laced with toxic, plasticizers and heavy metal stabilizer during the manufacturing to make it stable. So the whole problem is what we can say. It is very difficult. Therefore statement R is actually correct. It is notoriously difficult to recycle this because the chemicals, right? Whereas statement 1 is wrong. So therefore the correct answer is D. A is false, R is true. Clear? Question 139. Consider the following statements regarding electoral college for the election of the President of India. So nominated members of parliament are excluded from the electoral college. Members of legislative councils in bicameral states participate in the election. Members of the legislative assembly in Delhi and Puducherry were added to the electoral college by 70th Amendment Act 1992. Right? So this is like knowing the facts, polity. So statements which are correct, only 1, only 2, all 3, none. So the correct answer is B. Okay, only 2 statements are correct. That is statement 1 and statement 3. Now statement 2 is incorrect. Members of legislative council are excluded as the constitution wanted only directly elected representatives to participate. Okay? So statement number 2 is wrong. Question number 140. Which of the following statements are correct according to FAO? Right? So India ranks first in the production of milk and jute. India ranks first in the production of milk and rice. India ranks second, in the production of sugarcane. India ranks second in the production of rice and cotton. So what is the correct, option? So the answer is C. Only 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4 are correct. So India ranks first in the production of rice. That is the question. So India ranks actually second in the production of rice because China is number 1 in the production of rice. Okay, China is the number 1 in rice production. Therefore statement number 2 is basically not correct. We have only, therefore statement option C, 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Clear? So now if you have any further query or you are looking for more MCQs for your practice for any civil service exam, you can contact Bhadra IAS Academy at 8638391721. Thank you. Keep watching our videos. We'll come out with more and more MCQs for your preparation.